Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him tell. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him tell. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody spread the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as
Hello, Bonjour and Bonani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, more especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Riel, and I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to put in the chat box where you're watching us from and what you hope to achieve from our podcast. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have amazing speakers who's going to share some nuggets on how to increase your emotional intelligence. In Washington State, we have Dr. Joe Harris. And in South Carolina, we have Elizabeth Crawford. In Maryland, we have Kivit Minor Kane. And at this moment, I'll just let our speakers to introduce themselves. So you can go ahead, Dr. Joe.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Joe from Washington State, as she stated. I am a psychotherapist, an international psychologist, as well as an international best-selling author. I'm also a certified mental health coach and advocate, where I help military spouses find a voice as well as find a niche in what they want to do so that they can have a fulfillment career. I'm also the CEO of Common Minds LLC, and that's me.
Oh, wow. You can go ahead, Elizabeth.
Greetings. Thank you so much for inviting me here this afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Crawford, or Coach Liz. I am the CEO of Wisdom and Insights. We are a certified executive career and personal development coaching practice. I am also a consultant. I am also your tax and financial strategist. I'm an international and nationally best-selling author, and I am an entrepreneur in all things Jesus. So once again, I'm glad to be here with you today.
Oh, wow. That's a great honor. You can go ahead, Kivit.
All right, thank you. First and foremost, Rial, for having this event. It is such an amazing opportunity to be here with these wonderful ladies, Dr. Josephine, as well as Miss Elizabeth. I thank you so much for allowing me to have this opportunity. So my name is Kivette Minor Kane. I'm a financial liberation expert, and I guide women on their journey to self-sufficiency by teaching them how to transform your mind and transform your money in order to thrive. What that means is helping you to understand how our emotions affect our money management so that we're able to make better decisions, create better habits, and experience a greater quality of life overall and fulfillment with our purpose. And so today I'm looking forward to sharing some information with you all. I am an author, co-author to a book entitled Reinvented to Rise. And the title of my chapter in that book was From a Rescue Fantasy to Full Responsibility. And that requires a transformation in mind. And so I'm looking forward to sharing more about that with you today.
Oh, wow, good people. So you can see what I meant when I say we are surrounded by greatness, and surely this is greatness to me. So Dr. Josephine, I have a question for you. If you happen to have your own billboard, I can see your billboard coming down there in the busy highway of Washington State. What will your billboard say?
Wow, my billboard would say, every day is a chance to change. Live by faith.
Wow, every day is a chance to change, right? Wow, I love that. I love that. How about you? How about you, Sister Elizabeth? I can see your billboard coming up. Maybe it's already there. I don't know. What will your billboard say?
Oh, I believe my billboard will say, as long as I have breath in my body, God has a plan and a purpose. So in each and every day, we just keep striving to fulfill that plan and that purpose.
Oh, I love that. He has a purpose for us. He has a purpose for us. I believe in that. I love that. How about you, Sister Kevin? What will your billboard say?
My billboard would say, never underestimate your ability to thrive. I actually came up with that many years ago. I want to say around 2005, when I was looking for a mantra to really push me forward in my own life. And I've been able to share that with many others. And so I continue to encourage, never underestimate your ability to thrive.
Never, ever. I won't. I promise I will never, ever underestimate. I love all of the billboards, really. I believe my billboard can be the fourth billboard driving down the highway, and it's going to say, rise to greater heights, because I believe that the sky is no longer the limit, but our point of view. So we are determined to rise to greater heights. So we're going to get started. We're going to get started with our first speaker, Dr. Jo Harris. Dr. Jo Harris, I'm going to go over her bio right now before she speaks. In the modern day superheroes, she's saying that the modern day superheroes are not the ones we familiarize in motion pictures, but rather the quintessential professionals gifted with a sharp sense of servant leadership, willing to show up greatly in the lives of those who need it the most. Yielded to this profound ethic is the multifaceted advocate, Dr. Josephine Harris. Dr. Josephine Harris is a psychotherapist, international licensed therapist, international best-selling author, 4 times best-selling author, international speaker, mental health blogger, professional certified empowerment life coach, domestic violence and sexual assault advocate, and certified mental health advocate, as well as a coach. She is the CEO and founder of Calming Minds LLC and Healthy Minds and Hearts blog. Dr. Harris's mantra is simple. She is inherently committed to the emboldening of women, particularly military spouses, facilitating for them all, an opportunity of hope. Whether it be through transformational messages of professional and personal growth, Dr. Harris was born to encourage, motivate, and empower women of all cultures. So kings and queens, in the interest of time, please join me and welcome Dr. Jo Harris.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I want to thank you, Colleen, for giving me this great opportunity. I really appreciate it. Hello, beautiful queens. Today, I will be talking about overcoming challenges as a military spouse. One of the things I realized that changes is an unavoidable fate. As a military spouses, we be trying to transfer ourselves in the community, military community. However, change is like challenging work for us. And as a military spouse, our role is helping our service members fulfill that mission as they render in the form of silent support system to our service member and broader community. But we tend to lose ourselves, our priorities, our personal identity. We also take the hem of a home from as we go through these trials and tribulations. We also strive to achieve and maintain emotional well-being. But the emotional toll of like the deployments, the relocation, the difficult integrating back into the family as our service member serve in Iraq or Afghanistan. We also have the lift of separation is significant when it's associated with our well-being. Most important, the deployments that I mentioned here is related to decreased health promoting behaviors, which it increases our exercise, social interaction, rest, safety related, as well as our emotional intelligence. And as we go through this life as a military spouse, I had learned how to manage my own emotions. And after the only things that we as a military spouse can control in life and our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, if we can manage those, we can support our service member from anywhere. I also have learned that how my emotions work and how to manage them. The most important is our emotional intelligence. Not only improves our relationship with our spouse as well as others surround us, because as we travel, we meet different people, so we have to improve our relationship as well as enhance it, because with the different personality, the different countries we be relocated to. So as I develop understanding and connecting with my feelings and with my needs, we as military spouse was able to develop a more balanced life and have that good mental health. And here's 3 points that I learned how to effectively manage my emotions. One of them is positive effect. And what I mean by positive effect is how, as an individual, experience positive such as joy, interest, and alertness. And as a consequence, how you interact with others in my surroundings. So as an individual, I have to have like high positive effect. It's typically like my enthusiasm, energy, and active and alertness. And how I can communicate and open the lines of communication. So how I thrive as with positive effect is open communication, talk about my feelings, discuss it, and I have to expect a lot from myself. I have to thrive in knowing who I am. So I journal a lot. And when you journal, that helps boost your emotional intelligence. And military life is challenging, and our emotions is all over the place. So journaling is like an outlet in producing emotions and increase that self-awareness as well. You have to familiarize yourself, allows you to make sense of your anger, frustration, and anxiety and sadness during the stressful time. Another point I use is being mindfulness. And what I mean by mindfulness is being acting intentionally, being deeply aware of what's going on internal and external without even reacting in a negative way. So the thought of it's like sometimes you think it's adding a lot to your plate. You overwhelm, placing wellness in the category of chore and a burden. But however, mindfulness is worth the investment. And take it from me, it is worth the investment. The benefits of it is it decreases my stress, it increases my immunity to functioning in a more healthy way. It have greater self-kindness. I improve my productivity, and it reduces a whole lot of anxiety and stimulate my whole overall growth, good health. And the secret about being a military spouse is wellness. We have like different unique experience. The truth is that the world of mind and military spouse is all about self-care. And self-care is the most important thing in being a military spouse, because it's like a university wellness. We have to have the path of require different tools, different atmosphere. We have to we have to be encouraging as well, because mindfulness is like a path of boosting your energy up. It's boosting your self-esteem, your energy, your relationship with each other. And one of the ones dealing with mindfulness, it can also turn into the 5 simple steps that I use. It's like being aware, living awareness, paying attention to my behavior, your habits, your beliefs, and self-talking. I constantly ask myself why I'm thinking those thoughts or taking a particular action. But sometimes I surprise myself of why these actions is taking place. But in order for you to have a positive change, you must have an area of adjustment. So at first it was difficult when you adjust to certain areas and you have to insert yourself into a culture that's unfamiliarized to you. So you have to adjust around that atmosphere. And another one is choosing empowering words. I like affirmations. And I like, often we spend a lot of time on describing self-care activity, but the more powerful word that I use is invest, which introduce a new perspective of yourself. So I invest a lot in me. So I have provide positive energy, support mindfulness as part of my self-care routine. And being mindfulness is about being aware of your state of being in a moment. Your words filter your action, beliefs, and influence your action. So in the next one, I do like quiet time. That's the most important thing. It's my quiet time. So I try to get a lot of quiet time. Like sometimes when we first had our child, and I know I have adult children now, but when it was younger and it was running around the house, and you like, wow, how am I do quiet time with a 3 or 4 year old running around? So 5 minutes daily, you can focus, you can use that quiet time. You can meditate like prayer, because I have a prayer closet. So that's when I have that quiet time. So I have that quiet time, and I reap the benefits of the mindfulness. So I have to think about quality over quantity. The next one is paying attention to my thought patterns, how I have a thought pattern with respect of self-care in my thoughts. Understand the majority of my thoughts are lingering in a negative atmosphere. So I have to really think about what negative atmosphere has my thought pattern. So I have to change my thought pattern and using that self-awareness and empowerment words to change my thought pattern. And each moment, this helped me to create my personal environment for myself, to make choices and choose to be mindful in that moment. And as I say, it's one decision at a time. The last point dealing with it is meaning and purpose. And what I mean by meaning and purpose, meaning is to describe making sense of order, coherence out of your own experience. Purpose refers to intention, some kind of function to be fulfilled and goals to be achieved. And as I was researching like meaning and purpose, I found out that most research has stated that meaning and purpose connected with positive well-being. And with that is important to find your meaning and purpose, not only as a military spouse, but as a person as well. Because in doing so, you can help your overall well-being and improve your mental health. And most of the time, it helps you find meaning in your own experience. Because I find a lot of meaning through prayer, through my own experience, and through what God had led me to be and connect with my sense of self and my purpose through my spiritual connection, as well as connection along the way that I meet new people. And you have to remember, you matter, mental health matters, and you are not alone. And thank you for listening. You can link with me on all social media, Dr. Joe Harris, LinkedIn, Dr. Josephine Harris. I also have a free ebook, which we call 5 resources that every military spouse should need, want, and desire. And I also do a 15-minute consultation on military spouses that tips on how to navigate through mental health challenges with self-directing so that they can build and find their own fulfillment career. And I really, really enjoyed this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Wow, Dr. Joe Harris, oh my goodness, thank you so much for sharing such a profound message around mental health, really. Mental health is our world. So if we can take care of ourselves, no one else will ever do that for us. You've mentioned how military spouses can overcome challenges. You've highlighted maintaining your personal identity and connect with the community, and also self-care. I believe that applies to almost every one of us. So thank you so much. I believe that our audience have learned a lot from you around mental health today. So thank you, Dr. Joe Harris.
You're welcome.
So our next speaker, we are going down to South Carolina. We have our sister here, Elizabeth Crawford. Elizabeth Crawford, also known as Coach Liz, defined her niche as a certified as an executive career and personal development coach, with a passion to assist women in developing their career brand, exceeding career goals, eliminating limiting beliefs, and establishing balance. Coach Liz infuses unique skills and talents in assisting her clients, connecting them to tools and resources in community. She believes in a holistic approach, catering to the mind, body as well as the spirit, which is why she developed a unique Self-Invest 101 model. She believes that the family unit can function successfully when all members are healthy, whole, and working together. Spiritually, she believes God has provided everything we need pertaining to life and godliness. And that's 2 Peter 1 verse 3. Over the past year, Coach Liz partnered with the Academy of Creative Coaching, providing services to those affected and facing challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The initiative, Coaching During COVID, donates 3 sessions per client need. Coach Elizabeth received extensive training while working as a government contractor. This training and experience is what uniquely set her apart. Coach Liz was raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and she became a resident of the state of South Carolina in 2005. Oh my goodness, kings and queens, please join me and welcome Coach Liz.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, our experiences and our education seemingly may shape us, but it is the love that we have for people and our drive to be kingdom citizens and walk out our purpose that ultimately defines us, right? So today I'm going to briefly speak with you on limiting beliefs, taking the limits off limiting beliefs. And if you would allow me, I will be glancing at my notes because I want to give you the textbook and the theology of the science behind limiting beliefs, and not just my own interpretation and my own opinion. I will infuse that, but I want to give you the real deal as well. So what are limitations? Let's begin right there. So limitations are things that hold you back, things that confine you. Other words that describe limitations include, but are not limiting to, constraint, restraint, restriction, control, hindrance, obstacles, barriers, and inhibitions. These are things that keep you bound, kind of keep you in that box, but they go for good. There's some good things behind limitations because we don't want a lawless land, right? We don't want everyone running amok. But when we talk about limiting beliefs as far as self is concerned, we do not want to be hindered from being our greatest self, the greatest version of ourself. So limiting beliefs can hold you back, they can hinder you, they can stifle your career, they can stifle you from getting on that trajectory of success because they hinder you, they hold you hostage. So let's go over some of the limiting beliefs. The titles. There is imposter syndrome, there is analysis paralysis, there is negative self-talk, and there is self-sabotage. So all of these fall under the umbrella of limiting beliefs. I'm gonna give you a brief description and then I'll tell you what you can do to help eliminate these limiting beliefs because it's all a mindset. There needs to be a mindset shift. Dr. Joe talked on a lot of that. She touched on a lot of things, important things. So this is all in getting you to see or getting you to believe that what you know and who you are is your authenticity. It's who you are. It's what makes you. All your morals and values and the way you were raised, your education, your beliefs, they all make who you are. And you are unique. And your uniqueness is what the world needs. We don't need a lot of carbon copies walking around here. We have a lot already. But Can you show up in your authenticity and be your own great self that you are, God's creation? So, imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, I'm going to read you the definition, is doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud. We all know what a fraud is. A fraud is someone that's make-believe, like it's a fallacy. Have you ever seen these people that seem like they're chameleons? They change from day to day, whether it's in their looks or their personality, they're imitating someone else. It's like, well, who are you? Who are you really? You're a fraud because you're not showing up as your authentic self. So when you're showing up in imposter syndrome, you really don't feel like you measure up. You don't feel like you're good enough. You feel like another person is more deserving of an accolade or an award than you are. Well, I did okay, but they did much better. They should get it, you know, or I really don't deserve it. I didn't work as hard as they did. Now, when I was in school, I'm one of these people that every grade I got in school, I had to work for. You hear me? I mean, work. I had to toil. I had to stay up at night and study. But I had a best buddy. She could look at something and she got it like that. It's almost like she had this photographic memory, or she could read something and she can give it to you verbatim what she just read. Now me, I'd be stumbling over words. Well, the way I understood it was this, or okay, let me give you the gist of it. But, you know, so I know my gifting. I know that when I have to do something, I have to study it. So in imposter syndrome, there are people that are high achievers that can do that, can look at something and remember it verbatim. And then the other person that's worked hard at it, they look at them and they say, well, they deserve it more because they worked so hard. You know, but know your gifting, know that you too are deserving. So this affects, like I said, many high achieving people, people who find it difficult to accept their own accomplishments. Okay, so that was imposter syndrome. Analysis paralysis. In analysis paralysis, these are people that overanalyze. They look at other people and they compare themselves to others. Now, as I talked a lot just a little while ago about authenticity, being your own self, being your genuine self. So when you compare yourself to others, you don't quite seem in your mind that you measure up. You seem like you're a little more behind, like as if this is a race, right? But you just seem in your mind is telling you that you're just not as great enough. A person with analysis paralysis on a platform such as this with these other beautiful ladies would say, I don't deserve to be here. I mean, look at Dr. Joe. She's a doctor. I'm not a doctor. Look at the other beautiful lady. She speaks so well. I can't speak like that. That is analysis paralysis. It describes an individual group process when overanalyzing or overthinking a situation can cause forward motion or decision making to become paralyzed, stifled. You literally are unable to move forward with a decision, meaning that no solution or course of action is decided upon. So when you're having to make a decision, say at work, if you're suffering with analysis paralysis, you can't make that decision. So the whole team is waiting on you. They're waiting on you to bring your greatness, and you're sitting there twiddling your thumb like, well, I don't know. So-and-so can do it better than me. So you don't give an answer, you know, so that's analysis paralysis. Now let's briefly talk real quick on negative self-talk, and then we'll go into what you can do to help alleviate these imbalances. So negative self-talk, self-sabotaging behaviors, limiting beliefs, what they do is they lead to severe cases of drug and alcohol abuse, stress, burnout, because you're looking for something to use as a coping mechanism. There's fatigue, high blood pressure, overeating, depression, mental illness, as Dr. Joe talked about, and much more. A negative self-talk, you talk yourself out of doing something positive. Like you want to do a positive deed or something that would yield the greatest reward. But that negative self-talk will tell you, yeah, you can do that, but you're gonna look like a fool. It's not gonna work. Yeah, other people are watching you, and it's just not gonna work. It's not good enough. Now, self-sabotage is that behavior that undermines your success despite your own wishes, dreams, or values. The roots of self-sabotage often lie in low self-esteem, that negative self-talk, and related negative emotions. So some of that stuff from childhood, we've got to switch that around. Someone may have told you when you were younger that you couldn't do a certain thing, and you grew up believing that, even though later on in life you saw that it was something that was attainable to you, but because of the negative seeds that were planted. Glory to God. Those negative seeds that were planted have to be snatched up from the root. So I know that's another talk, but we could talk about seeds and harvest. That's another whole nother life. So let's see. Limiting beliefs differ from self-sabotaging behaviors, in that the self-sabotage lies in the low self-esteem and the negative self-talk and the negative emotions, whereas just with the other limiting beliefs, it's not so much that you have the low self-esteem and the negative self-talk and the related negative emotions, you just don't believe in yourself. That's the bottom line, point blank, period. You just don't believe in yourself. So what can we do? How can you overcome? Dr. Joe hinted on this as well. I am a big advocate for affirmations. As a matter of fact, I have a book on affirmations. You can get with me later on that. But affirmations, if you get up in the morning and before you go to bed at night and speak life over yourself, speak life over your business, speak life over your job, your career, speak what you want to see and then believe it. When negativity comes in, kill it at the root. Turn it around. If you have something negative, turn it around with a positive. Do not accept it. Do not subscribe to the negativity you hear in your head. So you identify it, you call it out, you be honest, you admit that that belief exists. You understand why you feel this way, what is causing that feeling and that emotion. Number 3, you challenge it. Then you accept that challenge. You fight it and you conquer it. Number 4, recognize it as it approaches. The word tells us to see the enemy from afar, and then you can combat that enemy. So recognize it, see it as it approaches, plan for it, strategize. Number 5, adopt a new belief. Those are the affirmations, right? Build yourself up in your most precious and holy faith. Speak in opposition to the negativity. Give a positive for every negative. And the 6th and final one is to put it into action. All the other 5. Work it out and then act on it. You can combat this. You know who you are. Show up in that person that you are. Be your authentic self. Trust and believe there is an end to a negative thing. Positive, erase it with a positive. Turn it around. You have that power. I am Coach Liz. I am the CEO of Wisdom and Insights. I assist the executive career-minded woman in developing her career brand, meeting and exceeding career goals, all while establishing balance. I'm here to assist you. The offers that I have, I'm currently doing Black Friday offers every every few days leading up to actual Black Friday, you could take advantage of a 20-minute discovery call. You also can get a scholarship for $100 off a coaching package of 3 sessions. And you can also get a percentage off of the books that I have available. So just connect with me, go to my website, wisdomforlife101.com. You can also follow me at selfinvest101. And you can look for me on LinkedIn at Elizabeth Crawford. And you will see me every now and then on Clubhouse. So thank you again. I look forward to connecting. I'm complete.
Oh, wow, Coach Liz, when you started, you say that we should take the limits from the beliefs. And how do we do that? You say that we should know our gifting and know that we can also achieve something in life. You don't have to compare yourself to others. I was just taking notes. You'll have to deal with negative self-talk. Negative self-talk. You've mentioned that it's talking yourself out of doing something positive, and that leads to self-sabotage. And then towards the end, you've mentioned how we can overcome these limiting beliefs. You were so deep on affirmations. Speak life over yourself.
Yeah.
Accept the challenge and fight it. Wow. I just can't go on and on and on, but this is very, very profound. So thank you so much, Coach Liz, for sharing such a needed message of all times. Thank you. So now we are going down to Maryland. We have our sister here, Kevin Miner Kane. Kevin Miner Kane is a financial liberation expert and an ambassador for self-worth and gratitude. She is also a proponent for women's empowerment. She guides women on their journey to self-sufficiency by educating them to take back their financial power and supporting them in gaining the confidence to fulfill their purpose in life. So as a CEO and a founder of Marima Life LLC, her mission is to elevate women worldwide to a greater quality of life. As an educator, a public speaker, and an author, she shares her message of financial liberation through a transformational process which incorporates emotional, mental well-being with improved financial habits for continued success. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome our sister Kevin Miner Kane.
Again, thank you so much, Rael, for being here, for hosting this amazing event. I see that signage behind you, resilience to greatness, and that is just so motivating and encouraging. It sets the tone for where we are and the fact that we're rising to greater heights today, and so I thank you so much again for allowing me to be a part of this opportunity. My name again is Kevin Miner Kane. And you heard, all my background, and you may be wondering, okay, so, what is a financial liberation expert? What does that mean? And I've been asked previously, what's the difference between financial freedom and financial liberation? And I define it this way: understanding that freedom is something that other people give to you, but liberation is something that you take for yourself. And so we're able to really put into perspective the fact that it is our responsibility to ensure that we maintain our liberation. And the question then becomes, how do we do that? How do we come liberated? Because see, even when someone gives you freedom, you can continue to behave as though you are enslaved. And until your mindset changes, then you gain your liberation and you're able to manage the power, the empowerment that you've been given, the power that you now hold. And so that is what this is all about. And so I'm going to just share a bit of information with you, just to understand kind of the framework of where I come from. So my personal story is that I suffered through and survived 3 major traumas within a short period of time, just under 2 years. Those being that I survived a major natural disaster, that I lost a parent in death, and then my marriage of 17 years fell apart. And so how was I able to now rebuild myself into being able to establish a firm foundation? Well, I knew that because now I was alone on my own after my marriage fell apart, I would have to reestablish myself financially with my own foundation, because I needed to, I had at that point in time absolutely nothing. I literally, where people talk about hitting rock bottom, I tell you that I built up from the dust. And it's been said that, when you take your tears and you mix them with dust, then you can mold the clay. And that's what I had to begin to do. But it took for me to shift my mindset first, so that I would then be able to manage my money better, to grow towards accomplishing my goals and achieving the success that I truly desire. And so I had to go all the way back in my mind to look at, my first money memories and understanding, what was my relationship with money that, for so long, because I was, over 40 at this point in my life, when that happened, that I did not have a strong enough relationship with my money to even have any available to me at that time. And so I had to reflect on that. And what I realized is that it is in childhood that many of us form these ideas about money that represent or present themselves in our adulthood, in the actions that we take and the decisions that we make. It is our responsibility to make good choices, but we have to be educated in order to do that. So I recognize that understanding how our emotions affect our financial decisions allows us to take back our financial power by managing our money so that we can experience self-sufficiency to fulfill our purpose in life. What I also recognize is that there is no way we can arrive at that level of empowerment unless we first explore where we lost our power and why we continue to give it away. It is only when we transform our mindset that we are truly able to transform our money and to recognize that we have the ability to thrive. And there's a simple equation that leads us in that direction. And it is emotional intelligence, financial emotional intelligence, plus financial education, which leads us to financial self-sufficiency. So that's emotional intelligence plus financial education equals self-sufficiency. So the question is, what is financial emotional intelligence? It's being conscious of how you feel when you think about, talk about, or make decisions about how to use your money. Every decision we make where money is involved is either triggered by emotion or triggers an emotional response. How you feel about money goes back as far as you can remember to childhood and how you were influenced by those you first saw handling money, interacting around money, and even speaking about money. And if you know that you could benefit from financial education, guidance, and support in redefining your goals and taking the actions necessary to accomplish them, then you have the ability to thrive and you found yourself in the right place today. So the question now is, how can you change your relationship with money if your influence from the very beginning has presented a challenge? Well, that starts with getting a practical education. When you learn and understand how money works, then you can make better decisions about how to make it work for you. Getting to know about compound interest, personal banking, and even legacy planning are only the start, but certainly the foundation that you'll need to build your financial house that meets your personal preferences. Being guided through this process by a professional advisor like myself will ensure that your financial house is up to code and will stand as an asset for generations to come. There are many money myths that exist today. And it starts with us being able to bust open those myths to identify what the truth really is for us each and individually, and then being able to act on that knowledge of truth. See, it's what we think that creates or manifests the reality that we experience. And so you've got to really get into, we each do have to get into, understanding what our feelings are, what our thoughts are, what is our spiritual connection, understanding how that affects us physically and how our physical being affects our mentality as well as our emotions, so that we're then able to manage our finances well. Start where you are, building your foundation with what you have right now. A literal foundation must be dug out and leveled to prevent any future instabilities that could cause a crack in the foundation and render the home unlivable, right? So the same thing applies with your financial foundation. We have to start digging into the ground to level it out. We have to understand what are those rocks that are in the soil or in the ground that might throw off the balance of your foundation. Get rid of those and now fill that ground, level out, so that it would be able to hold your steady foundation. In financial terms, that means organizing your budget by understanding your income and expenses to know where to manage your cash flow. There are only two things that you can ever do with money, and that is to save it or to spend it. And the order in which you do those two things will determine the outcome of either generational wealth or generational debt that becomes your legacy. But it is greater than creating a simple budget. I encourage every woman, including those of you listening to me today, to embrace financial intelligence so that you can identify your goals and create an action plan to organize your financial life. We can work together so that you are able to take back your financial power and to fulfill your purpose in life and demonstrate your ability to thrive. So self-sufficiency, how do we define that? Because people also talk about financial independence. Now independence is kind of that feeling of, you don't need nobody. You don't need anybody to help you with this or help you with that, or, and I believe that can often be more of a trauma response than an empowerment. And so what we focus in on otherwise is our self-sufficiency. And what that means is that although we recognize our interdependent relationship with others, we want to make sure that we are able to provide for ourselves, kind of like making sure that your cup is full and that when you serve others, it's coming from the overflow. And so the hard part about anyone taking a look at their finances is feeling like what you have is not enough. I want you to know from this day forward that everything you already have is absolutely enough. Enough to get started, enough to build momentum, and enough to accomplish your dreams. When you decide to take the next step and keep moving forward. I'm here to help you with that process by sharing my financial liberation expertise to reveal your ability to thrive. So now you can take an opportunity and understand, exactly what are your emotions that affect your money management. The way you can do that is that I offer you a free Mindful Money Moments journal. You can get your free copy by going to my website at marimorelife.com and clicking on the start page. There are 4 simple steps that you'll take. One of them is that I need you to do me a favor and answer the questions on that survey. When you answer the questions on that survey, it's not only going to help you to put into perspective what is the opportunity where you have financially to grow, but it's also going to help me to understand what perspective you're coming in with so that I understand where you're starting and we can create a pathway now for you to grow to your ultimate destination, the big picture, those dreams that you want to create as your reality. And so now you'll be able to walk through that process, and we will be able to, once you finish with the journal and are able to identify those 10 areas, because there's 5 areas of mindset as well as 5 strategic areas of money management that will be addressed in the journal, that you will be able to put together to create your ultimate plan moving forward. And so I look forward to working with you in that process. And I want you to remember, please remember this: never underestimate your ability to thrive. Now is your time to shine. And I can't wait to show you how.
Wow, Sister Kivit. Oh, I'm ready to shine. I'm ready to shine from what you've just shared. You've mentioned from the beginning that it's what we think that creates the manifestation of our reality. And you've mentioned that we'll have to set a foundation, financial foundation. We'll have to start digging up, build the ground, and level up. Oh my goodness. Like, I've been taking notes from this podcast. I've been taking lots and lots of notes. Yeah. You've said we should embrace financial intelligence. And also when you were talking about self-sufficiency, being financial independent, you've mentioned that we'll have to make sure that our cup is full, so that when we give from the overflow. My goodness, this is so profound. So thank you so much for sharing such a much needed, profound message. Wow, thank you, sis.
Thank you.
So to our viewers online, oh my goodness, I have no idea how this day will end up like, after being inspired, motivated by all these messages. Dr. Joe started with mental health, and Coach Liz, she mentioned on identify your limiting beliefs and how to overcome them. And now we've been sucked in financial literacy, really. Wow. So our viewers online, please feel free, if you have any questions to any of the speakers today, just put in a chat box. We're going to attend to your questions at the end of the podcast. So at this moment, I am going to be the next speaker. Let me see if technology is on my side today. I am going to be the next speaker right now. But before I speak, what I'm going to do, okay, technology is. What I'm going to do, I'm going to share. Let me see if it's leading me. Let me stop sharing. Okay, sometimes technology is not on my side, but I don't blame it. Can you hear me well over that side? Yeah, okay. Sometimes technology just wakes up not feeling it, not giving me, yes, we are here, we're still gonna fight until the end. We are not the giving up team. So right now, it's allowing me. So let me just share my screen. Okay. You know what? I'm not gonna. Let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk. Anyways, my name is Riel. I am an energetic professional speaker. I am also the author of 2 books, Rise to Greater Heights, as well as Human Rights. And then I have compiled 2 other books, Resilience to Greatness, as well as Cultivate Your Mindset for Success. Honestly, these books are comprehensive guides to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I am also a mentor and a coach, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness, because I believe that we are in full control of our own choices. So my title, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal as well as professional passion to become go-getters. I am also a PhD candidate. Hopefully by next year, I'll be talking a different story. I'll be joining the club of the doctors. So Dr. Joe, you are an inspiration. I'm following under you, over you. I am also wearing many hats, really. I am a certified professional sales manager, esthetician, philanthropist, commissioner for oaths, diplomacy and protocol officer, as well as a international human rights analyst. But really, following my dreams, it gave me a purpose to see my goals through and understand that I do have everything to reach to my full potential. My everyday message is that your journey to be a better person, it starts with you, no one else. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach to your full potential. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27 and 40, they always keep me to rise to greater heights. But before I continue, I just want to double check if I'm in the right platform here. How many of you with a raise of hand can say that, Riel, I have never, ever complained in life? Never, ever complained in life. Seemingly, I'm in the right platform because, you know, sometimes in life we go complaining about everything. Oh, the weather is really bad today. Traffic was worse than expected. My family drives me crazy sometimes. Oh, the movie was really disappointing. You name it. Though whining can be a way to build an inspiration, it can also keep us from acting, and it gives excuses time to procrastinate from achieving goals. One thing I've realized is that we usually complain in the wake of a negative situation. We tend to focus more on the problem than finding potential solutions. It's always much easier to complain than to find a solution. And individuals who whine on a regular basis, they're apt to have a bad health. So next time we'll find you complaining that, why do pizzas come in square boxes? Yet they're round. And funny enough, they're cut in triangles. Does that sound like you? Yeah, please write this down. Write this down. Increase your emotional intelligence. Increase your emotional intelligence. Good people, if you aspire to be in a leadership role, there is an emotional element you need to consider. Emotional intelligence has to do with one's ability to both recognize and control your own emotions. Like Dr. Joe mentioned, that you'll have to maintain your personal identity. So those possessing a high level of emotional intelligence have a connection with their own emotions, as well as the ability to recognize, relate to, and also influence the emotions of others. People who excel in emotional intelligence can be easy to recognize. Why? Because they know what they are feeling and how these emotions can affect other people. So good people always seek passion. It's so funny how my mom and dad gave me this beautiful, beautiful name, Nompumelelo. I know when I was talking to Coach Liz yesterday, she was like, oh, how do you say your name? I know many people, they just mess up with my name. But anyways, Nompumelelo in my own language, it means mother of all success. So now you can see that I am really, really challenged to chase after success. No matter what comes my way, I love to chase after success. You know, in this world, the most effective leaders are all alike in one crucial way. They are aware of their strengths and weaknesses and strive for continuous improvement. If I may ask you, how many of you have dreams and goals that you want to achieve maybe in the next 6 months? I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. As a coach or as a mentor, really, my goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that might be blocking you from achieving specific outcomes in your life, and then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. It was Coach Liz who said that we need to overcome limiting beliefs in our lives. So most people make mistakes around emotional intelligence. Why? I'm glad you've asked that, because they don't acknowledge their own flaws. They don't even learn from their own mistakes. Perhaps they are unable to delegate or at least understand what's going on with other people. So good people, all these amazing speakers have shared some nuggets on how to increase your emotional intelligence. This is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call, good people. But when that alarm clock goes off, please, please don't ever hit the snooze button. Don't be like, I will wake up in the next 2 minutes. I will wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? Forever is a long time. Why don't you wake up, get going, and increase your emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is an important characteristic for anyone at any level of an organization. And it is widely known that to be a key component of effective leadership. So as an entrepreneur, really, with me, I have experienced many emotions and become very aware of the sensitivity towards others' emotions. As my everyday book says, that a fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back. That's in Proverbs 29:11. So for leaders, having an emotional intelligence is essential to understand other people, what motivates them, and how to work cooperatively with them. Good people, you really don't have to see the whole staircase, but you'll have to take the first step to get to the top. As my mentor always say, that you don't have to be great to get started, but you'll have to get started to become great in life. Get started today and increase your emotional intelligence. Being self-aware when you are in a leadership position, it means that you understand how you feel and what your strengths and limits are, at the same time behaving in humility. As flight attendants always say, that put on your oxygen mask first before you assist others, because if you don't, you and the other person you're trying to help will possibly go down. So increase your emotional intelligence today. You know, in relationship management, empathy is what allows you to put yourself in other people's shoes, and being able to recognize the feelings and viewpoints of others without judgment. Emotional intelligence is a trait that can be developed to determine a business success. Like Sister Kevin said, that you need to transform your mind and transform your money. So fortunately, emotional intelligence can be improved. It can be improved to build a collaborative performance culture in a workplace. So good people, I so wish that you can just tell yourself that, you know what, all these amazing speakers have shared what you really wanted to hear. But now it's all about you. You'll have to make a difference. You'll have to make a difference. If you want to see a change in this world, it has to start with you. Make a difference within you. Make a difference in your community, to those around you, to those who look at you as an inspiration. But in order for you to make that difference, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry like the hungry lion in the jungle. That hungry lion in the jungle, really, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you had a giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All that hungry lion sees in front of his face is lunch. And it's so funny because even with elephants, when they see a lion, what they do is that they run. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. They already told themselves that, you know what, I am a lunch to that lion. So each and every time when I see a lion, I'll have to run. I believe that that's the mindset, the lion mindset that we need in order for us to increase our emotional intelligence. Because I believe that, you know what, we all rise together, and we rise by lifting each other up. We are only here to fix each other's crown, no competition. We're not here to tear other people down, but fix each other's crown. You know, it's so funny. When I was in the 8th grade, I was nicknamed Phoenix. I was nicknamed Phoenix after writing a composition using the idiomatic expression that says, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix bird, meaning I became successful again. Really, that English teacher, she didn't know that the nickname Phoenix, it resonates with me. And it also aligns with my destiny. So for those of you who don't know the phoenix bird, the phoenix is a Greek mythological bird believed to rise from its own ashes after being buried like hundreds of years ago. This immortal creature, it acquires new life by rising from the ashes of its own ancestor, which represents our capacity for vision and success. I want to encourage you, if they are listening under my voice today, that when your world comes crashing down, wear your scars to show how a phoenix feels like to die from inside, and trust in your own capability to rise from your own ashes, since the phoenix has to die first, burn, experience pain before resurrection from its own ashes. My everyday inspiration is Celeste Brown, who once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what visions, what goals, what skills, what talents, and what books will die with you? And Dr. Miles Monroe, he continued saying that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the dreams, all the visions, all the goals, all the talents, all the skills have been buried. Honestly, I don't know about you, but with me, listening to this message, it gave me sleepless nights. And I am proud today to introduce Rise to Greater Heights book before you. This is a comprehensive guide to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. And you can get this book for a family member or a loved one who needs that inspiration to face the world with a positive mindset. Really, I believe that we are all destined for greatness. We are all destined for greatness. When I say resilience to greatness, I just mean it. If I can be honest with you, I don't know what dreams or what goals you've set for the next 6 months. But here is one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. And inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. But many people have become crippled by their past encounters. And some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that God has a better plan for every one of us. Your objective is what you are designed for and the reason why you live today. With God, I believe that we're all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gift and following God's idea will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish your dreams today. So I didn't stop there. After writing my first book, I went ahead and wrote Human Rights, God-Given Fundamental Rights and Freedoms. Because with the death of George Floyd, really, I believe that everyone is born free and has the right to life. These are 30 Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We were born with it, and no one can ever take our 30 Universal Human Rights. So everyone deserves life. Everyone has the right to life, and no one will ever dictate how you live your life. With this 30 Universal Declaration of Human Rights, I believe that everyone is born free. Everyone, it doesn't matter what kind of family you're born into, we all deserve this Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we came together, 15 different authors and 17 different authors around the world. Here, Resilience to Greatness, and here, Cultivate Your Mindset for Success. These are amazing, amazing co-authors who shared their wisdom. So I believe that with this book, with these books, really, you'll be able, it will be able to revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. You know, I also have a free transformation guide for you. It's available on my website, www.risetogreaterheights.com. With this free transformation guide, you'll be able to explore leadership, empowerment, being purpose-driven, mentorship, coaching, resilience to greatness, mental health, emotional intelligence, and many, many more topics, including spiritual growth and successful parenting. Because growing up, I didn't have much in life, because my father decided to have an early departure from this planet Earth. But I had everything because of my mama's love. And I love you so much, Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Nompumelelo Riel Gonene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. Thank you for taking your time from your busy schedule, really, to be with us here. It means a lot. And I believe that with your presence, our audience have been really, really motivated. So at this moment, please feel free to share your final thoughts, as well as if you forgot to share how our audience can reach out to you, this is the right time to share how our audience can reach out to you. So I'm going to check if we have any questions, and then I will come back. So any speaker can just jump in, share your final thoughts before we end the live streaming.
I'll go. My final thoughts is live in your purpose. You have to start in faith. You have to stay in faith. You have to finish faith. You have to have focused faith. So I say that to say live in your purpose. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go. Final thoughts. Today has been awesome, and it has been so appropriate. I feel like it has catered holistically, which is what I just love, mind, body, and spirit. The ladies have come forth and have given you such profound and valuable nuggets. So it's incumbent upon you to take the information that you've received today and become a better you. It should propel you forward and not backwards. It should move you from a place of complacency to a place where you're energized and you have some forward momentum. So I just want to encourage the audience to keep striving and keep moving and keep believing in your authenticity, the creation that you are, the one that God has made for such a time as this. I can be reached if you want to connect with me at www.wisdomforlife, that's for FOR, life101.com. Thank you and have a blessed and prosperous day.
And I want to say again, thank you so much, Miss Elizabeth Crawford, for your insights that you shared, breaking down those mental, those challenges that we face, the traumas that can stand out for us, that analysis paralysis and understanding really, that what is imposter syndrome. When we're able to identify those things, then we can address them within ourselves. And that's so key. And I thank you so much, Dr. Josephine, for coming up and sharing your mental health information. It is so, I think we now are in a world where, mental health is at the forefront of consciousness for us, but people still don't understand what that is. They don't know what mental health means and how to treat their mental health. So you definitely gave us some insights there so that we would understand what steps to take moving forward. And finally, of course, Real, I want to pronounce your name, but I don't want to mess it up because I've had my name messed up a million times. And it's so beautiful. And I love the meaning of it, that you are just driven to success. And that Phoenix has been so so emphasized for me lately, that you mentioning that again just reiterates it and confirms it, and I'm so grateful to have heard that again. And so it's obviously, just a privilege and an honor to be here to serve everyone. I'm so grateful. And I welcome anyone in the audience who would like to connect with me to do so, either through my personal profile or my business profile across social media. I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, I am on LinkedIn. You can find me when you look in on Twitter as well. My personal is at I am Kevette, and you spell that like you spell my first name, K-E-V as in Victor, E-T-T-E. And then of course my business is Mari Moore Life. It's MARIMORLIFE. And I just want to end with explaining what Mari Moore Life is for me. It's the composition of, or the compounding of, two Spanish words, mariposa and mora. And mora it means the dwelling of the butterfly, because I understand that transformation is something that we have within us throughout our lifetime. And so I hope that every time you hear Mari Moore Life, you will think of that. And I thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. Really, I've learned a lot from all of you. I was just taking notes today. I'm like writing everything down before I miss it, and then I'll go back and listen to the replay. So thank you so much, amazing speakers. And to our viewers online, thank you so much for joining us today at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success. And I hope you've been inspired, motivated, and ready to rise to greater heights. So do join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Siyabonga.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. Only one I say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. Only one I say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody set the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to